hitting the streets, then you know we got the voice. News, views, real talk, no retreat. Welcome to Word on the Street, hosted by Lonzo Williams, brought to you by the Hub City Legend digital newspaper and the Compton Entertainment Chamber of Commerce. Watch us live or call in and join the conversation. Your voice matters, your opinion counts, and your story could be next. Word on the street! Word on the street! Like it, share it, subscribe. Hub City Legend, keeping Compton connected, one conversation at a time.
All right, folks, this is Lonzo and Sharifa. How you doing, darling? Can you hear me over there?
I love your video.
Thank you. I was surprised.
Video.
They messed around there and gave me some AI, and I've been acting the fool ever since.
I love it.
Welcome to Word on the Street, folks. We're doing something different today. Y'all know I'm always doing something. I got a studio. I got this equipment. I use it maybe twice a week. I said, you know what? I'm going to put this stuff to use. It's paid for. I done paid my bill. I got my internet working, and I got somebody else to talk to about something a little bit different. Now, this lady right here, I've been knowing her for quite some time. She's into everything. She ran for governor. She was a Chamber of Commerce president. She has her own Chamber of Commerce. I'm going to let her tell you about that. Right now, my co-host is Ms. Sharifa. How you doing, dear?
I'm excited. I'm honored. I'm so proud to be here, and I love everything that you are doing.
Thank you. I try to have a little fun with this stuff. This technology, I'm a big tech geek, and give me a new toy, I'm gonna play with it till I can't play with it no more.
Yes, but you're doing more than just tech. You're doing more than just tech. I went to see the preview of the trailer for the new movie that's coming out about the history of the Jerry curl. And so I was watching it, and I was like, oh my God, there's Lonzo. Every time I turn around, you're popping up somewhere.
You know what? My friend, she hit me up yesterday. I didn't know you knew Miss Chalet. Yeah, I knew Miss Chalet. I didn't know. Yeah, I pop up quite a bit. But people say I had no hair since 1994. So people forget I had a Jerry curl. Okay, I was the king of the drip. All right, I was very luxurious. Oh, by all means, it was very luxurious and many pillowcases. So, tell us about the organization you just formed.
Yes, the People's Chamber of Commerce is my latest passion. It's the fourth Chamber of Commerce that I've been a part of, but it's the first one that I founded myself. One of the things that I saw being a part of Chambers of Commerce is that a lot of people would pay in their dues and pay their membership fees, and then they would ask, okay, what did this buy? What did this get? And so I wanted to launch a Chamber of Commerce with a free membership level. I didn't want resources to stand in the way of being able to have access to any type of Chamber of Commerce. And I also wanted to create a Chamber of Commerce that was inclusive. So the People's Chamber of Commerce is not focused on any particular race or any particular city or location. We're a global organization focused on helping the people.
Okay. That sounds fair enough. I like that. I like that a lot. So you have mixers. Your mixers are free, and your membership is free. What else do you offer that people might want to be involved in?
Yes, our mixers are free. We do have other membership levels aside from the free membership level.
Okay.
But we offer a magazine. And I think the main thing that we offer and why people love working with me in general is that we have great networking opportunities. You know, in business, it's who you know. And people do business with people they know, they like, and they trust. So my focus is to fill up the calendar for the People's Chamber of Commerce and give people an opportunity to get to know each other, not just do business. I think business to me is the basic avenue of what we can do together. But if we get to know each other, we have a cruise that we're planning for March of 2027. We're working with an organization to do a health initiative. We definitely want to support you in your cancer walk that's coming up in October. So it's more than just about business. It's about getting to know each other.
Okay. I like that. I like that a lot. The whole health thing, you know, I specialize in prostate cancer. That's what I I'm a survivor, and my mother died from cancer. And I didn't realize until after I started doing this campaign for prostate cancer what my motivation was. I just did it at first because nobody was doing it. But I also realized when I was 19, I had to watch my mother die from cancer. And that affected me. Yeah, that affected me a lot. That affected me a lot because
I can imagine.
I was designated to take her back and forth to her therapy, to her treatment every week, every other day. She was doing a cobalt treatment downtown LA, and I left El Camino College to be her transportation. Wasn't no Ubers back then, and cabs were out of this. Cabs was ridiculous, so I was designated by the family to take her back and forth. And it was funny. Sometimes you suppress things. You suppress things for whatever reason. And it didn't dawn on me until I went to talk to Travis Smiley. He asked me about my motivation, and it hit me. I sat in the studio, I almost started crying. But like, damn, that's right. My mom did have cancer, ovarian cancer. And it just made me have a disdain for the whole situation. If I could keep somebody else from going through that same emotional pitfall, I'll do it.
Mm-hmm. How do you feel that you be able to help people avoid that pitfall?
You know what? It feels fantastic. I have had a lot of brothers come to me, man. Thank you, bro. I wasn't even tripping about that, dude. So you mentioned, didn't talk to me about it. I didn't have it. One of my partners told me I didn't have prostate cancer. I had colon cancer. I didn't think to get checked for nothing, but I'm glad I did. We've been tight ever since. One of my nephews, he was on state vacation. Hey man, my boy went and got checked. And he got out because he had to go get treated. So I mean, this is just a handful of people. I mean, what is really probably the sad part is when I meet a guy who's 47 years old, and he comes to me very somber and says, "Man, I wish somebody had told me this 3 years ago. I have stage 4 prostate cancer, and I'm about to go into hospice. I'm not going to make it." I don't know. I'm here. I hear me. I don't see me, but I'm here. I have no idea what happened, but I'm here. I have no idea, but you can handle it.
I know it.
You know what? I don't know why. When I get company, sometimes these things will just act a fool for no reason. Go ahead and have a conversation for a second, now. I'm gonna keep on talking. I'm gonna be right back.
Okay, so we're going to use this as an opportunity to do a commercial break for the People's Chamber of Commerce. If you are a business owner, if you're an entrepreneur, if you're an artist, if you just decided that you want to start your business, you definitely want to check out the People's Chamber of Commerce at peopleschamber.org. We are here to help you not only with information and resources, but again, about networking. We have several events that I'm really excited about coming up. We are partnering with the El Dorado Park Golf Course in Long Beach on next Tuesday, July 21st. We will be having a mixer there. It is free to attend. Bring a friend and definitely bring a stack of business cards. We'll also be in Long Beach with Stephanie Stansel with her realtor agency. We have a mixer there every fourth Wednesday of the month. And then we also, I think we found Lonzo somehow, some way, his background had got cut off. But before Lonzo comes back, we also have this is what I wanted to tell you about Lonzo. He's back. He came back. We can see. So now you can hear me.
Yeah, you're fine. I could badass.
Okay, so the EDD, we actually have a virtual event that the EDD, the data department, is putting on for us. And they're talking about businesses, what industries are growing, what industries are thriving. And this is an event they created strictly for the People's Chamber of Commerce. And then January 9th, we are having our business growth and lead generation summit with a focus on the access to capital that I'm very excited about. So there's so much going on. If people want to visit the website at peopleschamber.org, they can check out our calendar.
Okay. Now, you know, yeah. out of every once in a while, no matter how much you love it, it's just gonna do what it does. That's just it. And here's because we're live, it makes it you got to fix it fast. Okay, you can't panic. You just got
Yes.
to fix it. You just got to fix it. You know,
Mhm.
I've been knowing you for quite some time, like I said earlier. And you ran for governor at one time.
Yes. Well, I ran for Long Beach City Council,
Okay,
and that's when I really got into politics.
okay,
And one of the things that I learned when I ran for Long Beach City Council was that as long as I was an actual candidate, then I had to be heard. And I found out that I was passionate about politics. I was passionate about making a change. And I found out that I had a voice and I love politics. So I ran for State Senate District 33 in 2024. And then I threw my hat in the ring and intended to run for governor in 2026. So I was on the ballot the first two times, and I will not be on the ballot this upcoming election for
okay.
governor.
Why not?
That's when I founded the People's Chamber of Commerce.
Okay,
I
okay.
realized that I would be able to do more for the people because politics is very interesting, and when you're a part of the system, there are certain things that you're able to do, and there are certain things that you aren't able to do. And one of the things that I found was that, especially the party, they had a pick, and they had a pick, and their pick was Sheriff Chad Bianco, and that's really when I saw a different side of politics. It's like, how do you have a pick before you even have a candidates forum? You haven't even seen
Mhm.
all the candidates, but you've already made the decision to who you want to win and who you support and who you throw all your resources from. And this guy, Sheriff Chad Bianco, his prison, he was the sheriff in Riverside County, had one of the highest inmate death rates in the nation. So when you push fear and you push immigration and you make people believe that the immigrants are coming and the immigrants are going to kill your families, then of course you're going to want to put a sheriff who in charge to control all of this. And so I said, you know what, I want to do something else. I want to do something that will actually make a difference. And I launched my own, founded my own chamber of commerce.
Now you know, as a president, a chamber president myself, and a person who's been following politics for quite some time. I found that the chamber would give me more leeway than actually running for office. Okay,
Yes.
uh, I, I I like the fact I get to pollinate relationships. I like the fact that I don't have I got a board, but it's not the same thing. You have to go get permission to make a connection. Um,
Right.
and my past is my past. I don't need to be thrown up in my face every time I get to make a decision. Okay,
Right.
and that's just that's just my personal preference when it comes to something like this. And I do believe that Chamber of Commerce gives you a chance to kind of interact between the people, business, and politics. You know, and that for me works out much better.
I would definitely agree because being a part of the Chamber of Commerce, have more people who are willing to have a conversation. In politics, that line is very thin, where
Mhm.
some people won't even take meetings because of your political party. People don't want to be photographed with you because of your political party. And they stay at a distance because they've heard you're a Republican, they've heard you're a Democrat. They don't want to get too close because a relationship with you can be interpreted as an endorsement. It's all these
Right.
little fine lines where you're like, oh my God. But it was very difficult. I lost more friends in politics than any other area of my life,
Did you
especially.
really?
Yes, absolutely, absolutely, absolutely.
Why is that?
People have, I believe, some people have this idea of what they think a party is. So if someone considers themselves a Republican, then they may not want to interact with any Democrats. If someone considers themselves a Democrat, they may not want to interact with any Republican. So it's not, in their mind, it's not something that's personal. It's them saying, you know what, how dare you? I mean, some of the conversations that I had, I couldn't even believe, people. I give you one instance, a lady that I've known since high school made this huge post on social media that literally said, I'm saying this out loud in public so my words cannot be misconstrued. I can't believe Sharifa Hardy, and she tags me in this post, decided to be a Republican, and that's why, we can no longer be friends. And then I commented, and I was just like, it was unbelievable to me. I'm like, how dare you even, make this statement? And then she commented and she was just like, well, I can say whatever I want to say. It's my profile. I'm like, yes, but at the point when you tag me, it's now included on my profile and you're having a public conversation. But I've had many instances, not because of anything that I've said, anything that I've done, but because people did not agree with my political party, they decided they wanted to sever the relationship. So it's not always easy being in politics. And sometimes the people you fight the hardest for are the people who give you the hardest time. So for me, being a Republican had absolutely nothing to do with Donald Trump. I was a Republican before he was in office. It had to do with when I took a look in politics and I was told that I couldn't win as an independent. I had to pick a party. I had to make a decision because no decision was a decision. And so I looked at being liberal, and then I looked at, my focus on creating jobs and creating businesses and my focus on entrepreneurship. And I thought I'd be able to do more good through the Republican Party.
All right. I'm back.
We done jumped sides. We done moved over.
Huh?
I said we jumped sides. We moved over.
Yeah, we still here. We're gonna jump back though. There we go. Sometimes technology is like a badass kid. It's just gonna act a fool as soon as you get company. Okay. Anyway,
yeah.
I'm gonna fix. I know what it is. I can fix it after the show. Anyway, so you lost friends because you ran as a Republican.
Correct.
Now being in politics, I've met some very nice guys who are Republicans. And I asked them one question: how do you think you're going to win in this community being a Republican, which is directly associated with our current administration? How do you feel that's going to be a benefit or a hindrance? And they said both in most cases. How do you feel about that?
That's a question for me?
Yeah.
That's a question you asked them.
That's what I asked them. I'm asking you now.
Oh, well, first of all, when I became a Republican, it was 2023. That's one of the things. Let's keep this in mind. So when I ran for the 2024 election, it was prior to this administration. And so again, at that time, if I would have had the foresight or the ability to predict the future and see that he was going to win, then I may have done things different, But overall, I'm focused on the community and how I can help the community. And what you have to be able to do is to be able to create businesses. That's what we need to be able to do. That's our primary focus in order to create jobs, to be able to feed our families.
Right. Anything else? The politics can get in the way of progress, and that's something that we have to figure out a way to try to overcome. We can't let politics interfere with progress, and that's something I know people that have ran on both sides and didn't stop speaking because they ran. They both ran for a seat, and because one of them won, the other one didn't. They've been feuding ever since. Sometimes politics can be worse than gangbanging.
Yes.
Sometimes politics is like gangbanging. You running with me, If you roll with him, I can't mess with you. What? I've had that happen to me before. And I understand. I don't understand why they do it, but all this is temporary. Even if you win, it's temporary. It's temporary. You got 4 years, maybe 8, depending on where you run. And people take some things a little bit too serious. If you can get in and do a job that's going to benefit everybody, let's get the job done. The end justify the means in my book, and that's how I operate. The end justify the means.
Yes, but a lot of times people in politics don't consider it a job. I mean, that's what it is, but they don't consider it a job because it's more of relationships, right? And you do a lot of networking. And so in politics, sometimes allegiances matter, right? Deals matter. So if you have someone who you may not necessarily agree with their relationships, then you may not want to have those people around.
Got you.
But if those people have relationship with people you have mutual relationships with, it can be very, very difficult.
Got you.
If that makes sense. Because I feel like I'm speaking in code, but I also feel like, you know what I mean? Because politics is a whole different world. That's one thing that I learned for sure. It's not like, I don't even want to say the everyday normal world. It's a whole completely different world. And it literally took me 3 elections to even start to think that I figured it out, because it's because there's a lot of money on the line. There's a lot of money on the line. There's California, for instance, is being audited right now.
Okay.
One of the reasons they're being audited is because, especially during a COVID global pandemic, there were a lot of money that came into California for the to fight homelessness or to fight the unhoused issue. And so we received billions of dollars to fight an issue, and all we have is more of the same issue.
Right.
So the question now becomes, where did all that money go? So now if you have people who are on different sides of the party or different sides of the fence, they may have different opinions. And so now if somebody needs that person or that person's vote now to get into office, and that person comes in and helps them, that may upset other people. Or say, for instance, that person decides not to help them, because in not helping them, it will ruin relationships with other people.
Yeah, you walking on a social landmine. Anywhere you step, you can get your feet blown off. Okay, you can be an amputee.
I like the way you phrase it.
It's a social landmine. Okay, no matter where you step, you stand. The question is, do you want your feet blown off up to your ankles, your shins, or your whole leg? Depending on how you step.
But this is the thing though that's different, I would say, about politics is, you may get all those things blown off, your feet and your legs and all that blown off, but then at the end of the day, you still may not get the seat. You still may not get elected. You still may ruin that same relationships. A lot of times when we risk things in other areas of our life or other areas as far as careers, there's usually more of a guarantee. I go apply for a job. I receive the interview for the job. I have the job. Politics, you do a whole lot of campaigning. People campaign for years before they actually get on the ballot, before an actual election. So all of those different alliances and relationships that you build along the way can ruin relationships. I'll give you another example. Say, for instance, you have 2 friends that are running for the same seat. I'm pretty sure you've had that same, you know everybody, right? So I know you've had that experience. Bob and John and Mike all running for a position. Each one is going to say, Lonzo's my boy. I know Lonzo. I know I can count on Lonzo for his vote, because I've known Lonzo since I was in the 2nd grade, right? So you know that person, but the next person you don't know them as long, but maybe you worked with them on a job, you love what they did, they were able to make changes. There's somebody who follows through, there's somebody who knows the community, they've been out doing the work, and you're like, you know what, I think I'm gonna throw my support behind this person. The other people may be mad. That can affect your relationships. Or then sometimes what I've seen happen more than anything else is people go, you know what, I'm not voting for anybody. That's the biggest thing that I see more than anything else is people saying, I don't vote at all. Like, I just don't vote, you know? And that concerns me because I always say when I hear people say that they don't vote, then I say, then you're not taking any type of responsibility for the choices and the decisions that happen in your community.
True. That's very true. So now anything that happens, that makes you reactive as instead of being proactive. So now you're always trying to drive from the back seat. That ain't gonna never work.
Yes.
I'm along with being in Compton, I'm also involved in I live in LA City, so I'm also involved in the neighborhood council. And being the vice chair of the neighborhood council, we get everything that comes through our district. It's something I've never experienced before. And to see how involved you can be in the destinations of your community is amazing, but it's also disturbing to see how many people don't participate in the destination of your community. And you wonder why things happen because you didn't care. You didn't care until it happened. Okay? And by the time it happened, it's too late.
Yes, that's especially California. California is a state of apathy. That's what we are considered, where it's not the majority of the people who go out and vote. Even when Newsom won in this last term, he only won as governor by 6 million votes, roughly 6 million votes. Now, people will go, oh, you know, oh my God, that's wonderful. He got 6 million votes. The other person who was next had roughly 3 million votes.
Okay.
Sounds like a lot of people.
No, it's not.
But when you take into account, I'm sorry?
No, the size of the state, that ain't nothing.
Right, that's what I'm saying. So in California, there are roughly 30 million people. 30 million. So when you look at the numbers, you take a look and you understand that the majority of the people aren't going to the polls. That's one of the reasons why I wrote my book, Path to Politics, which is available in stores, your favorite bookstores, on Amazon, Path to Politics. And it was my way of trying to get more people into politics, more people going through the political system. I think that we need more people who are passionate about making a change in the community, because I think that's where politics start. When you're someone who notices the potholes, when you're someone who notices the police engagement in your neighborhood and you want to make a difference, I would strongly encourage those individuals to consider politics as an option.
You know, we're almost at the 30-minute mark. And at 30 minutes, we're going to wrap this up today. I'm going to do some configuring. We ain't had no phone calls today, but that's okay. We had a nice issue, nice first episode. We're going to do this again next week. We're going to invite some more guests. We're going to make this happen. And I love the way you keep the conversation going when I have to go off screen to fix something. Thank you very much. Thank you very much. All right, Sharifa Hardy, president, founder of the People's Chamber of Commerce. Thank you for coming on the show today. I'm looking forward to you being my co-host on a regular basis now. So we're going to work this out. We're going to get these little bugs out. I ain't had a problem like this in decades. Anyway, we're going to get it fixed. We're going to make it work. And we're going to have a call in. You can call the phone number is 323-574-6954. And we're going to have you calling in and chiming in on our conversation, folks. Please stick around. We're going to get this. We're going to get it correct. Sharifa, anything you want to say before we wrap up?
Yes, thank you for having me.
All right. I will see y'all next week. Have a good night. In the meantime, y'all folks, peace.